Start with the basics. So there is simple interest and compound interest. So simple interest, it's a formula. You use this formula. So you've got, let me just write the formula. So in simple interest, you've got A is equals to P into 1 plus IN. So let's talk about the technicality of how to use it, the technicalities. So A is the accumulated amount or the future amount, and then P is the principal amount or the present amount. And then this is just one, so don't get confused by it. And I is the interest, and N is the number of years. So simple interest. So there is simple interest and there is compound interest. So compound interest, oh but don't mind my handwriting. Compound interest is A is equals to P into 1 plus I all to the power of N. So this is compound interest. So A is the accumulated amount as usual, right? So A is the accumulated amount or the future amount, and P is the present value or the principal amount. So let's talk about the practicalities of it. Let's just start with the beginning. So we're given this stuff. Let me just erase this stuff. Okay, fine. So you are told that Turbo invested into an account. So Turbo invested into 5,000 into an account that offers 10% per annum. It's a simple interest for 5 years. Then they said how much will he accumulate after 5 years. So they're asking for the future amount because he invested this. So that is the present amount. So it means that so far we know that P is equals to 5,000 or 5,000 rands, and then we know I is so 10% per annum, but 10% you write it, it's gonna be 0.1. So you always divide by 100. Then there is the number of years. So N is 5 years, and then we're looking for A. So then here we're looking for A. So we're gonna say A is equals to P, which is 5,000 plus. Then there's gonna be 1 plus the interest 0.1. So 0.1. So we'll have 0.1 times the number of years, which is 5. And then all you have to do is just to calculate this and you'll have the value. So that is for simple interest. So let's go to another type of question. All right, here is another question. So in this question, they say Turbo invested 5,000 into an account that offers 10% per annum, 10% compounded per annum for 5 years. Then they said how much will you accumulate after 5 years. So I'm just starting here. We'll go to other levels. So if they say compounded per annum, it just means 1 year. So per annum just means per year, right? So if they say compounded per annum, they're just saying every year. So this is compound interest because they said compounded. So since it's compound interest, we'll just say A is equals to P into 1 plus I all to the power of N. So we've got P, which is 5,000, and then we've got I, which is 0.1 because 10 divided by 100 is 0.1, and then we've got N, which is 5, and then we are looking for A. So in this case, our A is what we're looking for. So we've got 5,000 into 1 plus 0.1 to the power of 5 because the number of years is 5. What? My phone just froze. Okay. Yep, my phone just literally. Okay, so then this is gonna be to the power of 5. So you just have to get the answer of this stuff, and then that's your answer. So let me show you another example. Alright, here is the third example. So they say Turbo invested 5,000 into an account that offers 10% per annum compounded monthly for 5 years. How much will you accumulate after 5 years? So they say compounded monthly. So now if they say compounded monthly, of course compounded we know it's compound interest. So it's going to be this stuff. So there's the formula. So I to the power of N. So if they say compounded monthly, it's going to be 12 times a year. So if they say compounded monthly, they're saying 10% per annum, 10% for that year, but compounded monthly, meaning that that 10 is going to be shared into 12 months, right? Because that 10, it says 10% per annum, so 10% yearly, compounded monthly. So what the person will be getting every month will be 10 over 12. So it's going to be 10 over 12. Yeah, but even if you don't understand what I just said, you can still get total in financial maths without understanding it. What you just have to memorize is that if they said per annum compounded monthly, what you'll do is that you'll divide the interest by 12 and then you multiply the number of years by 12. So basically whatever you multiply here is also the same as whatever you're dividing. So I'll just show you more examples. So A is what we're looking for, so then we've got 5,000, and then this is going to be 1 plus. So the percentage is 10, so 10 is 0.1, but you're going to say 0.1 divided by 12 because it's monthly, and then it's going to be 5 times 12. So whatever you multiply must be the same as what you're dividing. So these are things to here are things to memorize. If they say per annum is just once a year. If they say semi-annually, so if they say, let me just write it here. So if they say semi-annually, so semi-annually is twice a year. It means every 6 months, which is twice a year. And then there is quarterly. So quarterly, it means you are dividing the year into quarters. It just means it's 4 times a year. So quarterly is 4 times a year. Yeah, so don't mind my handwriting, but you can just make notes. Yeah, so quarterly is 4 times a year. Then monthly, so monthly is 12 times a year since there are 12 months in a year. So monthly is 12. And then there is also weekly. Sometimes they can do it on purpose. They can ask you weekly. So how many weeks are there in a year? There are 52 weeks. So weekly is 52. And of course, if they say daily, so if they say daily is 365. What about if they say hourly? I don't think that will happen, but I'm just going further. What if they say hourly? Well, if they say hourly, we know that there are 24 hours in a day, and you just say 24 times 365. Yeah, so it's just going to be 24 times 365. Yeah, so that's how it is. So if they say daily, it's just 365 times 24. Yeah, so that's what you do. So if this question, let's just say this question said, let me just erase this stuff. So let's just say in this question it was not let's say it was not monthly, but let's say it was quarterly. If it was quarterly, then it means that you divide the percentage by 4. So you divide the percentage by 4 and then you multiply the number of years by 4, because quarterly means 4 times a year, and it's for 5 years. So 4 times a year for 5 years, it means it's going to be 5 times 4, right? So you just say 5 times 4. So the same number that we're multiplying must be the same as what we're dividing. We're dividing because it says per annum compounded monthly, meaning that it's for that year, but it's going to be shared 4 times a year. So we have to find out what amount will the person be getting every 4 times a year. Yeah, but even if you don't understand that, you just have to memorize that if it's quarterly, it's going to be multiplied by 4 and divided by 4. Yeah, if they say semi-annually, it means this was going to be 2 and this was going to be 2. So that is how it is. So that is simple interest and compound interest. Let's just go to one more question, then we're literally done with the grades and stuff.